What is up, all you beautiful people? It is I, Akemi TCG, back here with a brand new video. Combo versus Control. What Yu-Gi-Oh deck should you play? If you're new to Yu-Gi-Oh, or you just need a refresher on basically the yin, the yang, the fire, the ice of Yu-Gi-Oh decks, look no further. I got you. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Akemi TCG. What I'm gonna do is talk a little bit about combo and control, and at the end smash them all together and try to put a comprehensive list at the end so you have a better idea of what deck you should pick up. Who are you? My name is Yami Akemi. Today I'll be talking about the control section of this segment. Okay, it's good for me. Less work for me to do. Let's go to the dark side. Control. This kind of playstyle revolves around being reactive to your opponent and using a lot of traps or hand traps, effectively taking control of the whole duel. For example, Altergeist Conqueror, when using Altergeist, can effectively alter the course of the battle phase, which can lead you to win games. The pros. 1. Very simple playstyle. When you're playing Control and usually your T setting and setting a couple monsters or setting a couple cards and passing, or you're playing a little bit more of an advanced kind of Control deck, which is Dogmatika, and you're effectively doing the same thing, which is super nice because when you go to a regional or a big tier 2 event, tier 3 event, you're not going to be tired at the end of it, because trust me, if you've never been to an event like this, 8, 9, 10 rounds of Yu-Gi-Oh matches, they're tiring. Number 2, extremely good against rogue decks. So a lot of rogue decks, the reason why they're in rogue is because most of the time they don't have some follow-up play. They have a very linear play, and if that doesn't work, then they die. But because of control is literally uses 4 or 5, sometimes if you can make a board, 6 or 7 ways to interrupt your opponent when you're playing, that it's effectively just inherently really good against rogue decks. So chances are, if you're going to a local event and you're not spending or you're not willing to dish out as much dough, control cards such as Solemn Strike, Solemn Judgment, etc. Compulse can get you a lot farther in locals than most of the time a combo deck can. Unless that combo player is playing like Lightning Storms and stuff like that, then that's a different story. The last pro, number 3, is in the current format, not a lot of people are playing some sort of back row removal. People are playing Call by the Grave, so you have to be careful with that if you're using hand traps that are not in permanence. But generally, let's say you play Mystic Mine on the field, most people don't have an out to that. And that could be a really good thing. Now on to the cons or the downsides. Number 1. So I talked earlier about the pros of being able to interrupt your opponent plays and control the whole entire game. But it's not as cookie cutter simple as it sounds. And let me explain. You have a finite supply of negates and interruptions. As a control player, it is your job to figure out how each of the deck works, or each deck works that you're playing against. If you don't figure that out quick enough, you can negate the wrong stuff, get baited, and die really fast. Second con, which could happen. So if you're playing competitive, usually games 2 and 3 are going to be a little bit harder, just because your opponent's going to be setting, you know, that one copy of Red Reboot that they always draw. Lightning Storm, Evenly Matched, Cosmic Cyclones, Twin Twisters, you name it, they're going to side those in game 2 and 3, especially if you're playing like a very common control deck like Altergeist. You have to be careful for those, and not gonna lie, games 2 and 3 get exceptionally harder with control. The final con number 3, is we just have a lack of kill power. no easier way to put it, if you're playing a straight control deck, it does take a while to kill your opponent. And if you're doing control versus control, these games get really grindy very, very fast. So your brain kind of works in overdrive when it gets later on in the game, but at least you're not having to make crazy combo plays. Now let's move this over to your boy Akemi. Now into the world of combo. Basically, combo revolves around playing a ton of cards and effects, effectively taking 5+ minute turns. I know if you're getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! This is gonna sound insane, but it's what it is. You kill your opponent really fast, or you make an unbreakable board, and most of the community, they call this solitaire. The pros. Number 1, you can secure wins with very, very strong end boards. If you make a board that's too strong, your opponent can't break it, or they didn't draw the right cards, they didn't draw into the Dark Ruler, they didn't draw into the droplets, the evenly, then sometimes you just win games by just having them scoop really fast. So it's a really, really quick game 1, and that gives you a huge advantage in terms of actually winning the match, and also mindset, because now you're ahead, and they're going to play a little bit more nervous, a little bit more conserved if they're behind. Number 2, a combo deck has a lot of cards in the extra deck, in the arsenal, and they can use it as like a toolbox. Sometimes there are bread and butter combos where you have these 2-card combos, but depending on the situation you're in, maybe you have 2 monsters on the board, you can really innovate the kind of combos you do on the fly. And if you like the idea of innovating those combos on the fly, combo could be for you. Third, it's actually a really important one. If you're playing combo, you don't need to play with another person to understand how your deck works. Just practice by yourself. You know, go on the side of the bed, draw into your cards, draw into the Call by the Grave. Practice to see if your opponent has, you know, Valor or Ash, the one that's sitting across from you that's not there. And just do out your combo. And keep practicing and practicing until you get quicker and quicker at that. So later on, when you're at a YCS, you're at a regional, you don't get locked into time, or you're less likely to lose into time. And also, since you know the deck inside out perfectly, you can make better and better choices. Now here are the cons. Number 1, some combo decks can be very, very big brain to play. I'm kind of a bad example for this, but last year I went to a couple regionals with a combo deck, and around round 6 I got a severe headache just because I just couldn't think straight anymore, because I was just trying to get out of so many different situations, you know, with Striker, with Engage, and then also Thunder Dragon with Colossus. It's a tricky time, and it's not for everyone. 2, if you're playing against a really good control player, and they know how to break your deck, you can lose to a very, very well-timed hand trap or a trap card. You ever go into LP, bank everything on LP, and then you just impermanence it, and you can't do anything else? It'd be like that. 3rd, the combo decks that are not rock, because Block Dragon is still legal, cannot inherently grind. We tend to use all our extra deck resources really quickly, and it becomes really tricky to go past turn 5 or turn 6. So now, let's go back and do our final comparisons. So now you have a grasp of combo and control. So what deck should you play? We're gonna answer this. You play control if you like longer games of Yu-Gi-Oh! That go back and forth. You like simpler decks, or easier to play decks. And you like to learn your opponent's decks and how to play around them. You play combo if you like fast-paced games of Yu-Gi-Oh! You don't mind learning the combos and innovating your plays mid-duel. You like playing with your own deck and strengthening every single part of its weak parts. And there we have it. Combo versus control. Now you have a solid understanding of how both of these decks work. Let me know down below what kind of deck you play, or what deck you're aspiring to play, and why you like playing the deck. But Akemi, what if I like both? What if I like both combo and control? What if I want to make them both into one deck? You can check out Unchained and Rika Fairies, because they kind of do a little bit of both. Alright everyone, that is it for the video. If you like this content, make sure to let me know down below. And if there's any other future Yu-Gi-Oh! Topics you want me to address, please let me know down below too, and I'll try to do my best to address it for all of you. I'm Heroes Academy TCG. This is Yami Academy TCG, and we are out. Alright, bye guys.
The world ends now.